Good evening. This is the Historical Commission. It's July 11th, 2017. We're pleased to be here this evening, and we'll get right to the agenda with the minutes of the June meeting, which is in front of everybody. And you also had electronically sent to you by the clerk, Mr. Branagh. So I'm entertaining a motion to accept the minutes.
I make a motion to accept the minutes of the June meeting.
Good. And a second, please?
I will second.
All right, any discussion? Additions, deletions, corrections, nothing. Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. Good, one down. Financial update, let me just say that I met today with Deb Thibodeau to pay Mercer Monuments for the final payment for the installation of the monument, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So that was great. That pretty much clears us on that cost. But that's the only activity that we've got at the moment. We did clear our books of the FY17, I guess it would be, amounts that we had, and we didn't want to send anything back. And we were able to purchase 3 posts for our monument project, which I also will explain in a minute. So that cleared the books from last year, and we're on to this year. So fiscally, we're doing fine. And hopefully we'll get a treasurer now that Chris Rawson's gone, so think about it, folks. All right, we do have a new member coming. Dave Prue was appointed at the last Selectmen's meeting. He's on vacation this week, but he will be joining us, and he has really good, do you know Dave? No.
I think so.
He's a member of the tavern. You don't know him either. Okay, he had a lot of background with Old Sturbridge Village. He worked there for years doing the tin shop. What else, Mike? Did he rove around?
He's a deacon at the Congregational Church.
Yeah, but at OSV, did he do anything besides the tin shop? He must have had to do other stuff. Yeah, he's a deacon at the...
He's a carpenter. He makes buckets for the kids.
Right, at the 3rd grade annual visit, he's out there making brooms or buckets or something. And when they rehabbed the Black Tavern barn, he was instrumental in carving out the 2 long
Pintles
beams.
for the door.
Well, the
Yes.
beams in the barn, and then the pintles, getting those into for the doors, which was it's a fascinating thing to see because they just heat these things
He was
up.
the only one that was conversant with what was going on there, that's for
He
sure.
sounds like an accomplished woodworker.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And he can help you out with other stuff. And a vast knowledge of historical stuff in town, so we are delighted. He's a director of the tavern, but I said, we have an opening, and
You lured him in.
bingo.
Good job.
Reeled him in. He's finally at a point in his life where he can spend a little time with us. That's going to be really good for us. So he'll join us in August. That would be the plan. All right, so let me move right down now to the town common update. In front of you, and for the folks at home, we are now pushing this town common celebration, August 12. And it's going to be an all-day celebration on the common. For those people at home that don't know where the common is,
Follow the crowd.
go to Dudley Hill. If you don't know where Dudley Hill is, gee beepers, as we have to say, go to the Congregational Church on Dudley Hill, that big Norman keep-looking church, and in their, what looks like their front yard, is really the town common. And we have now installed massive block of granite, and you can see it in the picture on here, and it says Dudley Town Common. I have received calls from people who were astounded to know that that was a town common. Some of them have lived in town all their
Economic
life.
Development Committee?
I thought there'd be newcomers who didn't know where it was.
No,
Old comers?
there are people, and some of them will not be named, although it would be fun, that lived in town all their life, went to Nichols, so we're up on that hill all the time, and were shocked when I showed them the picture, and they said, "Where's that?" And I told them, and I said, "Really?" So, I understand because it's never been signed, it might have escaped their notice.
Oh, sure.
But thanks to Michael's complaints about wire trespass, which is a long, involved story, we have regained ownership of the town common, and now we have named it, put our name on it. So what's going to happen on the 12th is all day long we're going to have reenactors, the Massachusetts 15th Civil War reenactors, and they're also the Sons of Union Veterans group together. We'll have some great little things. They're going to have a little Union camp. They're going to demonstrate military drills, do some rifle firing. If you got kids at home, little tykes, this is the kind of thing on a Saturday they may just love to see. And they'll be portraying some camp life. So we will, well, yeah. We will have, they'll have a little campfire going. They have permission to dig a hole in the common and put a campfire in, and what they do is just cut out the sod, move it out, and then have their campfire. And when they're done, the sod goes back. It's kind of like in a golf course, when they change the hole every day for the greens. They're excited to be here doing this for two reasons. One, they're going to celebrate the, got to get this one right because it's a weird number, 155th anniversary of the death of Frank Corbin, the Dudley guy, died at Antietam, and they're going to go down to Corbin Cemetery and have later in the afternoon a little ceremony for that event. So they were going to be up in this neck of the woods at some point anyway. And when I talked to them, I said, well, we'd like to do a dedication that we're doing on our monument to the guys from Hendersonville. They said, great. And I said, let's put them together. And the Black Tavern was having a Gray Whisker Pickers event that night. So
It all
I said,
flows together.
all came together nicely. So that's the 12th of August. And we would encourage people to get their picnic blanket out and pack up a little something, come on up, hang around, and stay for the concert. Or come up for any of the events and come back for the concert, whatever. Concerts, usually, the Whisker Pickers, for those of you out there that may have never bumped into them, are a fun group, local people mostly, and great sound, and they'll do, I would guess I'd put it in the country music genre. It's easy listening and tune tapping stuff, and they do it on a good day, staged in the doorway, and we all sit outside, so bring a lounge chair, bring a cooler, and just sit back and enjoy a nice August evening. It's going to be great. And the dedication that we're looking at is at 4:30, and we'll have some explanations for folks that get there about the six guys, two of whom are Nipmuc Indians, by the way. They were.
Wow.
And so when you think of a third of our guys that were incarcerated were Nipmucs, that's amazing,
Are there any Corbins left in Dudley?
Are there? I don't know. There are descendants of Corbins.
What's
I
their
don't know
name?
if the name,
The name is still Bible.
Yeah.
Curious.
Ring a bell? Gone south, he's gone quiet. Yeah, but it's a good chance, people also get a chance to see the founding families listings. So they're gonna see that, the older monument refreshed. They're gonna see the new bench delineating the town common with the reverse side, the dedication to the soldiers. They're gonna see on the ground, tying all of these things together, including the flagpole, the granite pieces that came off the Stevens warehouse. Those will all be laid in place. And there will be installed by that point 3 interpretive panels about this size, explaining and showing pictures of what was up here originally. So they'll be able to stand there and say, all right, I see a brick church today, but this is what the white church looked like before the fire. And we know that the Grange is on the north side today, but it was on the south side of the common back in the day in the late 1800s, but moved. And so we'll have little bits and pieces for them to kind of orient themselves. And there'll be views looking up Center Road and down Center Road. And, it should be a nice little educational piece for, not only for residents of the town to come on up and take a look and become aware of what we were, but a lot of people drive through here and have no idea where they are or what they're doing. Bicycle people come through all the time and stop. It'll be a great chance for them to check this out. So it's gonna be a nice little educational focal point on the common. Anything else on that you need to know? It's just mellow tonight. Goodness. How about you guys? Questions?
Yeah. Do we know where Frank Corbin lived?
Pardon?
Where did he live, Frank Corbin? You know?
I do not know.
But we can put you onto the site that'll give you all the details from his record with.
I wonder how old he is when he died.
Yeah, I'll have to
Just
remember.
turned 19.
19?
Site for Army records.
You Google up the 15th Mass Volunteer Infantry site. Go to roster, and then click on the index, and click on Frank Corbin.
Yeah, and any of those guys, they'll all come up with as much information, and even he has some letters on there somebody wrote to the family and
Yeah.
things. So there's a lot of detail there because my wife was amazed when she actually went to see what this was all about. She said, my goodness, she said, a lot of information. And it's helpful for us to bring this forward every once in a while because we forget. You need to be reminded who these people were that and what they, what kind of sacrifices they gave so that we could be having fun here. The signage is being done by Graphics Unlimited. I picked up the posts, the nice big fat square things that'll go 3 feet in the ground, and they'll be able to yank it out. And they have built-in tilt angle, so when you come up upon them, the stuff won't be flat, it'll be just at an angle, easily read. Just to determine how high off.
Where are they gonna be placed?
They're gonna be near these monuments. The exact location I haven't decided yet. I've gotta find 3 locations. I've got one that has to be oriented south, and one west, and one north. So that when you're standing there, you're looking at what it's talking about.
Is there gonna be any signage on West Main? You know, like they do for the Strawberry Festival and the.
Oh, you mean to get us to this?
Yeah, like
Um,
a town common celebration,
Yeah, we'll try and
Something.
put something together to get people up there. And it's a short window. We only have like 4 weeks.
Yeah.
But I'll talk to my people. Sign for, I call it the,
Red, white, and blue as well.
get your paintbrushes out. Okay. Yeah, it's hard, if you've got ideas, this all came together rather rapidly over the weekend. So we're still at the throes of what has to get done. I know I've got Jason Hall going to do the paving for me, so I told him it's gotta be done by the 12th. He didn't seem to think that was gonna be a problem. And the sign guy said he can have all of that done as soon as I get it to him. He can turn it around fairly quickly. So those will be ready to go.
The brochure, do you want the brochure by the 12th?
I'm not panicked about the brochure for that, because
Okay.
we're saving that more for, as we
Then
get
that-
closer
yes,
to the
when
to the
it's
district.
On the register, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't want to confuse them
This is
with,
like
Right,
the
right.
appetizer, right?
Yes.
yeah,
yes.
this is the appetizer.
So is there anything we need to do
But we
for
should
this
have,
to help
we
with
should
this?
have a handout, the guys, a little descriptor on Andersonville and the
Yes.
guys.
A couple people have asked me, I've been telling people, I have not met one person who knows where the town common is yet.
See?
That I've told about this, like, oh, go up to the town common, this just got put in, you should go see it. And no one has known where that is. Well, where's that? And I describe it. And then they go up there and then they say, so do you know anything about these men? And I say, no, I do
No.
not.
But
Well,
you
the
can.
people I met know the common, but they don't
Yeah.
know Andersonville.
Oh,
Right.
oh, really?
Just the
Yes.
opposite.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yes.
odd. Yeah. Huh.
Andersonville, it was a notorious prison.
Yes.
And we met with the selectmen last night, and Paul Joseph was doing a little fill-in of history on that piece, so that was good. There will be an article or two
Mhm.
coming out. Deb LaPlaca's already working on one,
Mhm.
so that'll be in the Telegram. So, and we'll get somebody from the Times to do some coverage this, so that
Okay.
they all know it's coming, it's coming, it's coming.
Mhm.
And we'll put it in the calendar of events, and we've got enough time to get all of this out. Anybody that's around on a Saturday, it's a great time to come up and see what's going on.
So do you have assignments for us? Is there anything you need to do? Or you could think of
Well, yeah, if you want to help out on, we can get these 6 guys off of the same Mass 15, no, they weren't all Mass 15.
Nobody was in the Mass
These-
15.
They were all what? Different ones?
Different outfits.
All right, I was just looking for more info on,
Dixon was 15th Mass, but there's not too much information on him at all.
okay.
Okay.
Well, we can.
Maybe a little information sheet on who these men were, just
Yes,
something about
right,
them.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that'd be easy.
All right, so if you can dig up a little
Okay.
info, and we'll try and flesh it out a bit.
Okay.
Doesn't need to be much, but just something
Just
that day
something.
when they're standing there
Yeah.
and they understand it.
Something
And-
to like humanize them, I think.
Yeah.
Gotta bring them to
Just
life,
having a name.
exactly.
Yeah,
You've
something
gotta
that,
bring
like,
these
this
men to
was a-
life.
And,
Yeah, person.
and the horrors that they went through.
Absolutely.
Because,
So maybe a
um,
description of Andersonville at the top,
yeah,
something like that.
I would start with a description of Andersonville and then,
And then talk about
oh,
each.
that's what I would,
yeah.
yeah.
It was
bring them to
unfortunate that
life.
that's where they were sent, because anybody that went there, it was almost a death warrant.
Yeah.
Some of these guys did get back here. They were pretty much wrecked. One guy lasted a little while, though.
But died from the effects.
Mr. Nedson returned home and died almost immediately
Yeah.
from his sufferings. McGovern died in August of 1864. He was shot in the chest. He never had a chance. He went to Andersonville and promptly died from malnutrition, starvation, wounds, whatever you name it.
One guy did hang in, though, quite a few years, didn't he? Come back and.
Curtis Davis, and Dixon all lasted into the 20th century.
Which is amazing. given-
Davis weighed 100 pounds when he returned, and Curtis was clad in a Confederate drummer boy's costume when he returned home. He weighed 75 pounds.
Did any-
Dixon, we don't have too much information on him, but that he survived, married a Dudley girl, moved away, and died in a veteran's home in the new century.
Did they leave any writings or any like,
There's a lot of writing about Curtis.
I mean, did they leave any like personal?
Dixon, pardon me, not Dixon. John Davis kept a diary of Andersonville, but it hasn't been seen. It was mentioned in his obituary in 1906, but now nobody
gone?
knows where it is.
Oh, that would be cool.
What
a
To have, like,
resource.
excerpts
Oh.
from that, yeah.
It's a
Who's-
lost diary.
Does his family have it maybe? Who's his family?
Yeah, the family had it, but she died around 1922. The
We're-
place,
yeah.
the house
Oh,
burned,
this is like,
you know.
it's gone now.
Yeah, we haven't found it. It hasn't surfaced anywhere, even on eBay, in all these years, so the chances of finding anything on that are...
Mr. Curtis was a legislator, as was Mr. Davis. And Mr. Curtis was appointed to the committee that oversaw the construction and erection of a Massachusetts monument down in Andersonville, Georgia. He was on the committee, he was a speaker. It's all recorded, it's all in a Massachusetts archives type book. It's an amazing thing. I'll send it to you.
You will? Okay. I was gonna say,
Yeah,
give me your info.
you
Okay.
can flip it.
Okay.
So there's stuff out there, and we would love people to start thinking, oh, maybe I should read the book Andersonville. And there's a
Is
movie.
there a book, Andersonville?
Yes.
Oh,
Well, I
there's a
mean,
there's a sea bag full of books.
Sea bag of books.
I'm sure there are, but I mean, it's like, that's the title?
Yeah, if you look at Andersonville, that, you're not gonna find anything else that isn't related to it, I think. It's just
I'd love
so,
to read about it.
so notorious.
I've never read about it, but I would.
Yeah.
read about
Well, I've got a new Fire Stick to try out on my TV, so I'm gonna type in Andersonville and get the old movie. They said it's just difficult to watch, but so that's all right. It'll be fun. Fun to try it out, and then of course to get that info. Other information or questions or such? I mean, as you have them, just email me and we'll try and stay in touch.
This will mostly be almost a done deal by the time of our next meeting, so
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah,
what's gonna happen is gonna happen.
Yeah.
and we're trying to keep it organized but fluid, because they're gonna do a march from the Corbin Cemetery event on the same route that we do on the 30th of May. So they'll come down from Corbin Cemetery, Ramshorn, to the corner where the Carter House is, and then along past the Village Cemetery, and then up to the Common. And we're hoping to get some music for them as they near the Common. But they're asking people if they want to march to join them, go down to Corbin, watch the ceremony, and then just get behind them and come on up. And it's always a pretty little route, you know, people don't understand. You're flying through there in your car, and you're just worried about other vehicles coming at you or something. You don't get to appreciate how lovely that view is. And then, of course, once you get to the Carter House and start up, that's all now the beginning of our National Register district, so it'll be good.
I don't know the frequency of their placement, but what about putting flags on the telephone poles along the bridge?
They're there now. I don't know if, let me ask, because if they were gonna take them down,
Yeah.
we could
Leave 'em
keep
up.
those up.
What did you say say about music?
Well, the Whisker Pickers are going to be playing. I'm going to talk to them. If they can do some music as they come up, they're going to come up at about, let's see, they're doing their event at,
Is there a fife and drum corps available someplace?
High school marching band or something.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Fife and drum, isn't that what was?
well, it was more like the Revolutionary War. But what do they have for the Civil War? Same thing? Small group, flags,
Yeah.
some flags and
Well,
whatever. But the reenactors will be in costume and give you a flavor for this thing. So I'm less worried about playing them all the way up as having music as a near
That makes sense.
the common. And we've got the Whisker Pickers, so if I just say to them, come a little early and have a little more fun with us, and it'll be a preview for people to see, to say, oh, we're gonna stay for the concert. And they're sponsored by the Cultural Council, which is interesting. We have the Dudley Women's Club involved because they, along with the Black Tavern and us, sponsored the historical scavenger hunt a few years ago that's paying for all the signs that are gonna go up. So we got lots of layers of, people that got involved in this thing, just to make this one thing happen, so, be good. But as you come up with ideas, flip them to me, because don't wait till
Yeah.
August
It's too late.
Yeah.
8th when we go.
I hate to even say this one, but food. I know people always want food at these things or some,
If we think, I'd love to have a food truck up there.
Yeah.
And if we get the word out and say, look, this event's gonna go on, we
Yeah.
can't be sure who's gonna need what,
Right.
but that may be enough for a food truck to say, we'll take a chance on that,
Yeah.
especially at that hour of the day,
Yeah, that's
the
what I was
early,
thinking with the time.
early afternoon.
Yeah.
They could go and move off to some other place
Yeah.
for later.
Yeah.
In conjunction with that, do we have bathroom facilities?
Well, yeah, that's on my list. Between the church, the Grange, and the tavern, we should be good.
Mhm.
If we expected some kind of a huge event, then we'd have to go and do a porta potty or something.
Yeah.
I don't see, this is not on the scale of the Strawberry Festival turnout. This is going to be mid-August, who's still in town,
The 275th
And who's
was
interested?
very minor, it was very modest, it dispersed quickly.
yeah. So I don't think we're gonna have any huge demand. But those are the kinds of questions, as they pop up, say, hey, let me know. Just, we won't have vendors selling balloons and stuff like that. They learned for the 275th. They came all ready with their things and like, this is gonna be big. And then they got here and the parade went off and
The band went away, and
the band went away and the people said, that was fabulous, and went off to do things, and they're all there, hello, balloons, banners. But we hadn't contracted with them. It wasn't like,
They just chose to come.
yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't like the 250, which was a bigger event. All right. Did I mention the time capsule last time?
Yes.
Yes, you did.
I'm over that one. It's now here in the building, and it's available for the 300th, if any of us are around. Somebody asked me this weekend, I said, oh, that was so last month, I don't even remember that. All right, we'll move to the district progress. We're at the very final edits. I don't know if there's anything left to quibble about on this, and it's sitting in Boston. We haven't
well,
heard,
he's still doing changes,
yeah,
but,
but we haven't had any,
no, we haven't
he's just,
kicked any more in.
and I think that they're down to its nitpicking kinds of things at this point, and they may be packaging.
It all depends on when they decide to pick it up and look at it, who
Yeah.
knows?
Our part, we've read it over, we've indicated what we thought needed to be corrected, and those were minor. So we're gonna get a good document out of this. It's gonna be pleasant to have this finally done next year, and we'll be planning that event, see? Any other questions on the district progress? Nope. Future events for the town, we just covered the biggie, and I don't have anything else beyond that. I don't know anything coming up that we need to alert people about. It's midsummer, everybody's kind of hanging back. Preservation projects, anything come by you, Mike?
Oh, well said.
You're good? All right, nothing new there. Other business not known. At the time the agenda was posted, who knows? This was not known, and here it is. Member concerns. Hearing none, seeing none. No guest comments.
Completely unconcerned commission.
Yes.
No guest comments, nobody came to be in the peanut gallery with us. And here we are enjoying the cool space, the big time room for a change.
Moving up in
And-
the world.
And that's it. All right, then I am entertaining a motion to adjourn.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are
Next meeting
adjourned.
is August 8th. Coming early next August.
August 8th, okay.